Ukrainian Crisis Media Center. Now we start our conference to the International Day of Environment presentation of EcoPact. So the youth of Ukraine is saving the world from ecocide. So Yuliya, Markhel. Dear colleagues, today we are with an important mission not only for Ukraine but for the whole world. We dare say that today there will be a sort of ecological reform from the youth of Ukraine, for the youth of Ukraine and for our community in order to balance the ecosystem, which as of today has huge problem, ecocide. The full-scale war in Ukraine made ecocide present indeed, and as of today the land suffers, the earth, air and water. Animals are dying and people are dying. All those explosions, all that military technique, and all the obstacles that happened in Ukraine made it so that our Ukraine became just mega polluted. In order to begin, I dare say, this renovation together, we initiated EcoPact. First of all, for youth organizations, and we are going to call on to all the institutions and citizens of Ukraine to join, because as the author, I mentioned 20 points, and I offer everyone to join that, introducing them in your activity in your everyday life. What it will give us, this EcoPact, to those who sign it, and to organizations, what will it give them? It will make it possible to have ecological responsibility of establishments. It's not all we can do, but these are first steps in order to reduce negative impact on the environment. And these are the steps that we can make every day, and we have to do that every day, and we can implement that, and we have to introduce green offices. So we have to be responsible and to treat responsibly land resources. We have to be responsible consumers and use some things that can be used multiple times. We don't have to use some things. We don't have to take some things that are just laying over there and we are not using them actively. We have to use also Ukrainian, because logistics and all of those things are taking and are making huge harm for the environment. And the environment has no borders. Therefore, the consequences of military actions in Ukraine will be felt by the whole world, and years are needed in order to get 30% of Ukraine are mined. It's more than the part of the Korea, and from the times of the Second World War, nothing like that happened in the world. And also we have problems with waste, because all the waste pits are overfilled, and we have a huge number of internally displaced persons. We have this situation that our waste pits were not ready to the fact that there will be 200,000 additional people who will come and live in the cities, 10,000 to the village where they used to have 1,000. And we have to reduce our waste. But the only step towards reducing is sorting and reprocessing. As of today, there are enterprises in Ukraine who are waiting for our resources, and we as citizens and organizations, we have to make propaganda of the right treatment of waste. And now in Ukraine, on the state level, there are changes about correct behavior with the waste. And I hope that this EcoPact will help Ukrainian youth to understand that better, and Ukrainian youth will help to each family to understand how it should be. I would like to mention that we are extremely happy as the biggest eco movement of Ukraine to initiate that. And when we started coming to different organizations, associations, and all of that, they all agreed. Like they said, we are on board. So today, here we have our colleagues, young activists, youth who's building youth policy, social policy of our country, ecological policy of our country, I would like to mention that together with Let's Do It Ukraine, we have today the first who are going to sign that. This is NGO National Youth Council of Ukraine, Association of Youth Centers of Ukraine, NGO Association of Youth Centers of Ukraine, also Public Association Ukrainian Youth League, and Information Agency Rubryka, NGO Youth Organization Young Generation, Recycling World, NGO Youth Organization Young Generation. Public Association and Code of Nation, Charitable Foundation, Percentage of Indifferent, and those are not all who joined us. Those are just the first organizations who mentioned that they are signing this EcoPact. Then, to the World Day of Environment Protection, we will present this EcoPact all over Ukraine, and our representatives from Let's Do It Ukraine will take people and different people in order to sign this EcoPact on places, and even having those organizations and those signatories who are going to sign that first. We have almost 600 of councils, communities, and professional communities. This is a huge number of young people who are joining together for our ecological responsible world today. So, presenting our EcoPact, we developed a whole small book which will be in free access on the website of Let's Do It Ukraine. You can download that, you can read it. How to become a signatory of the EcoPact. There will be additional news on our website again. But I would like to mention that these results that we took as the basics, we didn't just make it in Ukraine, but we took the colossal experience of the Green Information Services for Youth. These recommendations were developed by European Agency for Youth Information and Consulting, and based on that, we developed and we further processed our points that are relevant as of today. And a huge number of people, a huge team had been working on this book, and I'm really grateful to all the editors, to graphic designers who developed this book for us, and it becomes as a documentary basics, and presenting EcoPact on joint activity and partnership on preservation of environment for coping with the consequences of ecocide in Ukraine. Organizations who are going to sign this document, they are obliged to. And I will tell you 20 points, which actually we are going to spread and we are going to work on in the nearest few years, and we are going to live with that. So first of all is to stick to existing legislation in terms of preservation of the environment. Second is to take part in renovation of our environment. Third, to have ecological direction and activity of establishments and organizations in order to reduce negative impact on environment, development of corporate and social responsibility in this field, and environment protection. In the fourth point, we are offering to support citizens, including young people, in their search for ways of reducing their negative impact to environment and encourage them to be ecologically responsible citizens, conscious consumers of resources of our land, and of course to spread information about the ecocide and coping with its consequences. Point number 5 offers to reduce and consciously use resources of our planet when planning and also in everyday life of organizations, including use of packaging that can be used multiple times, and step-by-step reduction of one-time use plastics. According to the law of Ukraine on waste, we already work on this we've been working on that for a few years already in Ukraine, so maybe it's time for us to come together and to make some certain steps. And now, for almost 5 months, the organizations have been conducting their activity, and they start planning the next half of a year in the next years. Therefore, when planning, each organization will be able to indeed consciously plan use of these materials and consciously reduce use and reduce their negative impact to organize the right treatment of waste. It is very important to understand that sorting is not only sorting in establishments and organizations. Sorting, it's when we are making some events that we are organizing during conferences, forums, festivals, because we, Youth of Ukraine organizations who are signing that, we are making a lot of activities, and other organizations join that, and citizens also join that, and who, if not us, can, with our example, show how to sort and how to behave with the waste in the proper manner, and maybe even inspire others to do it the same manner as we do. In this point, we offer to introduce ecological practices in the activity of your institution in order to achieve ecological sustainability and adopt decisions that will reduce the eco impact. You all know that we are living in debt for a long time, We are making this eco impact because the resources on the planet of Earth can come to an end, and in order to have at least something in the future, we have to make these steps today already. And the point number 8, we offer to join and organize information events, and also to join international events such as Day of Earth, International Day of Environmental Protection, and World Day of Cleaning, and also other calendar eco dates and projects and programs that are introduced in Ukraine by Ukrainian and international organizations, maybe even to develop own activities. In point 9, we offer to introduce green practices and ecological policy in everyday activity of organizations and also office management. Next, we are offering to measure the carbon impact of your organization and develop certain measures in order to reduce that. I would like also to mention that in addition to points offered by us and what we are going to reduce or where we are going to work on, we developed the apps that will help organizations take the right relevant for organization course, because actually how each organization is going to make ecological actions, it depends only on the organization exclusively, but advice, as we can give advice, and we gave advice in the annexes. We encourage to cooperate with relevant bodies, schools, NGOs, and other key stakeholders in the field of ecological sustainability to stick to being ecological and ecological responsibility, and also to conduct information campaigns and spread advertisement, merch, products, and so on. I would like to mention here that we are developing recommendations for organizations because we know that during conferences, festivals, and different events, very often beginning with the greeting cards and ending with the bracelets and bags and T-shirts, we are spreading our products, which is actually our advertisement. But we encourage joining the EcoPact to produce the products which are going to be eternal, to make such a merch that you would like to wear all the time, to make such books that will be read by all citizens of Ukraine, by every citizen of Ukraine, and do the things that others will use, and not just, to have the ads materials that are irresponsible. So it's rather be the products that are really necessary and useful, because it's much worse when people are carrying that home, they are not using that, and then they are throwing that into the trash can. Then we also offer to give priority to ecological programs everywhere. For many years, we've been hearing the ECO is not on time. Now we have full-scale war, and people say that ecology is not relevant right now, but ecology is the first thing we have to take care of when having the full-scale war. Why? Because ecosystem is our life, health. It's our well-being. It's our economy. Everything concerning eco and being ecological, it has to join the citizens, no matter what we are doing. We are also offering being every day in contact with other citizens to be examples of ecological responsibility. And this is what we mentioned earlier, but we have a separate point for that, to inform and promote among the interested parties the idea of green reconstruction, which will be based on the approach of participation of each organization and each citizen. Conduct information and educational campaigns in media, informational literacy, promote that, promote ecological habits, and further make sustainable goals more popular, and promote active civil position and participation among youth on the issues of ecological sustainability, also via relevant tools of democracy. We are offering all the time to inform our partners, including our international partners, about the impact on the environment, military actions, and the fact of ecocide in Ukraine when it is committed. And point number 20 became creation of natural social conditions and participation in renovation of water resources, and also to help the animal world and landscapes and natural and natural anthropogenic systems and ecosystems. We have lots of different ecosystems, so we offer to join to each organization on their level, knowing that many of us are participating in planting trees, planting flowers, but we have much more work, and no matter where your organization is, you both have parks and squares and national parks. And of course, when you are coming together with your community, with the media, we have step by step renovate all of that, because unfortunately, the efforts of our municipal services are not enough. And this EcoPact was developed and taken as a basics. It will be processed further. It can be adapted. It can be expanded by organizers and also by the signatories with our body as the consultative one. So these 20 points are going to be the basics for us in order to be able to develop ecological responsibility for our organizations. Now I'd like to give the floor to participants of our today's press conference, representatives of our most powerful moments and most powerful organizations. I would like to give the floor first to NGO National Youth Council of Ukraine, Ms. Natalia. Hello, colleagues. This document is really on time. And at first, I would like to express my gratitude to our organization, Let's Do It Ukraine, as a first organization, which gave us such a push, the idea that and the changes in climate. We have to talk about that already today and not to postpone that till the time of our victory. We, as a National Youth Council of Ukraine, the biggest platform, which is joining more than 150 organizations in our turn, are going to make this document more and more popular among both local and national organizations, and we are going to promote its, let us say so, implementation. In turn, I would like to mention that the document, which was taken as the basics for writing the given document, like green informational for youth. Back in 2020, it was developed by our colleagues, and they had more than 100 pages of how to work with young people and how, in a friendly way, youth-friendly way, promote eco-friendly way of working with youth and work of NGOs. And in our time, it is more and more relevant for representatives of public sector. Thank you very much. So also, I would like to give the floor to NGO Ukrainian Association of Youth Councils, Mr. Volodymyr Sonko. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank to Let's Do It for all the cooperation that we had in that period in the context of youth councils, because our platform actually was together youth councils in 23 oblasts of Ukraine. And for us, this EcoPact is, a call to work with the programs on site. So I would like to make this call to youth councils because as of today, it is necessary, and it was mentioned correctly by the previous speaker, that Russia indeed is destroying ecology, not only physically, but they are destroying, it via information things that they are giving. They are destroying our local NGOs and youth who had to implement this program. So I am calling to, we have already now to start working with local programs, with local youth, with public organizations and other representatives who are included to youth councils, because as it is worth mentioning today, because we have the biggest platforms present, we have to do that in cooperation, and in cooperation is our force, and we can do a lot thanks to this EcoPact. Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to give the floor to the Ukrainian Students' League. Yeah, hi everyone. We as representatives of more than 500 students organizations of Ukraine, we would like to mention the need of getting involved to the goals of sustainable development. And in our opinion, signing this EcoPact is probably a part of joining of our public organizations to the green and right rebuilding of Ukraine within the goals of sustainable development. And youth in this project is the main part, because these people who now are studying at the university and maybe they haven't graduated school yet, they are going to be people who are going to rebuild this country, and they have to rebuild that better than it used to be before. They have to rebuild that in proper manner. So we thank everyone who's present here, and we thank also you for the invitation. And I would like to end with our phrase in Ukrainian Students' League: we are building better time together. Thank you very much, sincerely. I would like also to give the floor to the institution which became our basics, our wheels, so to say, and we are all the time there. And it seems to me that it's epicenter of all the events that are happening in Ukraine for youth. This is the whole Ukrainian Youth Center. Hi, everyone. Actually, I don't know what to add in this context. I'm just going to join all the words, and I'm gonna thank for this initiative. It's really valuable because you give example to other organizations what they need to do in order to become better. That's cool. And secondly, there is a phrase like begin with yourself. Usually it is used in order to talk about some personal things like I'm a human, I'm a citizen, I have to begin from myself, I have to begin being ecological and to do correct waste treatment. But I think that this phrase has also to be relevant for organizations, and thanks to this pact, organizations can start from themselves joining that, and I'm sure that the network of youth centers all over Ukraine will also be able to join that, and I'm confident that it will be really useful in order to make Ukraine cleaner, more ecological. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sincerely, you see that we have really different youth and everybody has their own direction, and I am happy probably as a youth leader that as of today, organizations that don't feel themselves as competitors, There can't be any competitors in ecosphere. We have all come to come together. And I thank all the organizations who are joining for having this dialogue, for having this kind of compromises. We are doing that first of all in order to live in ecologically healthy, nice, beautiful Ukraine and country, and to cope with the consequences of ecocide in Ukraine as soon as possible, even if, as adults say, they are going to look for resources for a long time and implement that step by step. But already today we start motivating with small steps, and we start being example for many Ukrainians. I would like also to mention that EcoPact is not an EcoPact if mass media won't join us. It's really hard to make propaganda of ecologically responsible life if you are not ecologically responsible. So we encourage all the journalists to join us, and today we are going to have the first person who is going to sign. This is an information agency, Rubryka. Ms. Viktoria. Hi, everyone. With Let's Do It Ukraine, we are Rubryk, we are Media Solutions, and we have a big sub-brand, which is called Eco Rubrics. And I think that some of people who are present here, they heard about that already. And in Eco Rubric, we are talking about ecology, about environment, about ecological problems that we have. And what is most important, we also talk a lot about what can a person do in order to solve these problems. And we also conduct educational events, and we have eco bot chat, and we have some solutions. But altogether, we've been talking also earlier about the activity of Let's Do It Ukraine, about the World Day of Cleaning, about other important events. And I think that it's incredibly important activity because who, if not us, who, if not journalists, are going to talk about the activity of all the organizations that have an aim of cleaning our environment? Therefore, I think that it's not only us, because we are the first here, but it's not only us who have to join this EcoPact, because now there's a lot of new projects being launched in different media that are covering ecology topic, and therefore it will be really good, I guess, and it will be correct for them to join this EcoPact and continue mentioning that, continue making new interesting acquaintances, and also among other media organizations and associations and so on and so forth. Thank you very much, sincerely. And before signing, I would like to also announce that we are continuing working on the national map of recycling points. That is recyclingpoints.org, because we start the sorting not from the moment when we are dividing our waste, but when we will have these points. We continue making digital cleaning, especially this activity is relevant for everyone, but where it is impossible to make physical activities and physical events, this is the activity that can be done by everyone, even somewhere in the shelter, like to clean their gadget. And for me, digital cleaning every day, as soon as the air alert goes on, I turn on the mobile phone and I start cleaning the photos. And it's the memories. You see everything that happened, and you can delete everything unnecessary. And of course, we are going to start preparation to the World Day of Cleaning, and it's a separate reason to further move. And the World Day of Cleaning in Ukraine will take place. It will take place on the third Saturday of September in different formats, sticking to all the norms and rules of safety, because life and safety of citizens is the first thing we have to take care of. It's going to be a special protocol for implementation, because never in our life there will never be some tools that we used to have. First of all, it will be like the safety, with the shelters and so on. And only after special services will go there and see whether there are not mines and so on. So cleaning in 2023 again will join all Ukrainian youth and citizens, and it will be like the partisans, because like last year we've been working for 119,000 participants who came together last year without announcing on placards and the internet the places where they are coming to. More than 5,000 locations, more than 5,000 small groups next to the shelters. They were coming together and they were having these small fun, in their lives, something that indeed we like to do, something we can do, and something which is joining all Ukrainians in Ukraine and all over the world. Therefore, I would like to remind you that each person has a right for safe life and health and the environment. We are obliged to respect everything that lives on our planet, not to harm animals, to renovate and protect natural systems. And Let's Do It Ukraine, the biggest eco movement of Ukraine, encourage all organizations and institutions and each person on earth to join those who protect the environment and take part in keeping this balance in our ecosystem. So I would like to remind you that we came together with the name of saving natural environment of Ukraine, reduce the impact of war on the ecosystem of our planet. And now I would like to invite to sign our EcoPact the signatories. Today, the original document is signed for the first time in 2 copies for the memory, and then all the organizations will be invited to sign that. We are ecological, so we are not going to give you your copy. It will be kept for the memory. But this historical document is already available, and now you will see live how actually more than 600 organizations are coming together in order to make the first steps in order to cope with the eco-genocide in Ukraine, from Ukrainian youth. So, dear colleagues, I invite you. And one more time, to all those who are present here, I would like to remind you, tell the name of your organization and how many organizations you have around you, how many people. I am also with a seal. So we have 66 youth councils, 24 oblasts, and we are also putting our seal there. So in 24 regions of Ukraine, the youth councils will start acting from this minute on, actually, according to our obligations in EcoPact. Natalia? National Youth Council of Ukraine. We have more than 150 organizations that include both organizations of the whole Ukrainian level and local, regional, and youth parties. And also we are included to European Youth Forum. So step by step, we are moving in Euro integration by signing that. I would like to remind you that Let's Do It Ukraine are apolitical and non-religious, but we include religious and political organizations, and we want them to sign this pact as well. So I did not even sign it first. And Let's Do It Ukraine, the organization who joined in the last 9 years, almost 4 million people in their activities. But like that, all of you, your people, your organizations, I would like to thank everyone who joined us today. I would like to thank for not looking for a reason, but looking for an opportunity. I hope that further on our joint work will be fruitful and productive, first of all. And I'd like to mention that in a year, we are going to meet and discuss how we impacted our environment. So those who signed that, you cannot just leave that on paper. We will start our work, and in a year after signing EcoPact and its work, we will give consequences that took place already, consequences that happened. Therefore, I would like to mention that all organizations in Ukraine, please get acquainted with the EcoPact on the website letsdoit.org. Get registered to sign the document. Introduce these elementary, actually really elementary, because we wrote everything we can do in a really easy manner. So these are some elementary things in your activities and in the activity of your institutions when implementing your project activity. And of course, inspire everyone with your ecologically responsible actions. Every time, think of being ecologically responsible citizens and think, do you need to buy the additional bottle of water today, or you need to take a big bottle somewhere and use that multiple times? Take your eco bags, take your eco cup in order to drink coffee and not to use one-time cups. So do something you can start with, something which is maximally comfortable for you. And of course, in such a manner, we all can save our country from this ecocide and its consequences. Therefore, ecologically responsible, and to the victory, to each participant, thank you very much. Maybe we have questions in the room now. Okay, we have one more comment. I'm really sorry. As far as today, not only the organizations that join are signing that, so the right, I would like to invite my 3 colleagues also, the right of organizations to be the first, and all organizations in Ukraine to understand that not only the youth organizations are signing. I would like to invite, I'm so sorry, but I would like to invite also NGO Young Generation, National Festival of Code of Nation, and Charitable Foundation, Percentage of Indifferent. I am so sorry. So, therefore, with this example now, we are showing absolutely that if you're a foundation or organization, you can do that. And in 20 years, we are going to recall how we began this reform in the eco field. So I greet all of you with signing of our EcoPact. Thank you very much for you being here. Thank you very much for joining us. And there's a lot of work ahead of us. Thank you very much.